As time passed, more authors started penning their own parts to your story. Siblings, teachers, friends, and companions have all added to your book. Everything you have experienced right up to this moment, and significantly, how you have perceived everything that you have experienced, is bound together, attached to your identity and coded in your brain circuitry. Our stories are powerful. They define who we are and the way we conduct ourselves. They color the lens through which we view the world. Unconsciously, we can continue well into adulthood, letting others fill the pages while we sit idly by, or we can take ownership of our stories and challenge what has been written by others without our permission. Just as you might take a red pen and correct errors in a manuscript to refine and improve the story, so you can bring your own story to light and make the necessary corrections in your mind where you see errors that are holding you back. You had absolutely no control over those pages filled in by your family in your earliest days, but what's great is that you do have the control now over your perceptions of those first chapters and the ones who wrote them. Consider the story of Elijah. He was born to a distant and detached mother who wrote on his first pages that he was unlovable and worthless. Elijah saw himself as his mother saw him, as children often do. He developed a very poor self-concept as a result of her detachment. Because of this, he often had trouble forming meaningful relationships. With a 1-2 punch of being distrustful and feeling unlovable, he pushed people away without recognizing the patterns he kept repeating. His failure at forming relationships with others further solidified his negative view of himself. One day, at the age of 19, Elijah was lucky enough to encounter someone who could see his light, the good that was within him. This person saw his worth and challenged him to read over the first chapters of his story. In doing so, he realized that his mother was detached because of her own personal story and not because there was something wrong with him. He had been an innocent baby, born into an unfortunate circumstance. He now felt compassion for the child he once was, and he knew that little boy deserved a better story. This shift allowed Elijah to see himself in a different light, the light that was reflected on him by someone who could see it in him all along. His feelings of self-worth grew, and he was able to take the pen and fill his present pages with happier stories, which bode well for a brighter future for Elijah. Who do you want to be? When you imagine your best self, what does it look like? Like Elijah did, intentionally thinking about our own stories can help us understand why we think, react, and behave in the habitual ways that we do. Focused self-reflection about where we come from help us to understand ourselves, question our relationship patterns, and challenge our beliefs. This is the beginning of growth. Consider the following questions. How was your childhood? What are the events and relationships that shaped who you are today? What have been the turning points in your life? Which relationships, other than the one with your parents, mattered most in the formation of how you relate to those closest to you now? What successes and failures have created your current outlook on the possibilities for your future? What beliefs do you have about children and child rearing? Take some time to truly reflect on those questions and talk them through with your partner. Then, if you'd like, write out your life story on paper. Begin with your earliest memories and just let the story flow without being critical about what you're writing down. Include everything that you feel is relevant to who you are today and who you want to be, particularly concentrating on what influenced your current beliefs about relationships. Once you have your story written down, take a red pen or highlighter and mark the parts of your story that you feel need to be rewritten. The parts that you feel aren't serving you well in your quest to be the best partner and parent you can be. This is owning your story. You aren't denying your past or pretending that certain things happened when